It's 8:44, and everyone has a strong opinion about something. Each week, we invite interesting people to come on the show and lay it on the line about how they really feel about the stories making news this week. We call it the Fox Box. So welcome Terrence Roberts in for Uncle Nasty today. He is the founder and CEO of Prodigal Son Initiative. Also welcome Mrs. Colorado 2009, Megan Yarberry, who has just taken her crown. Megan, thanks for coming in today, and congratulations.
Thank you.
And actor and comedian Bagg in town doing some stand-up this weekend for the Denver Improv. All-around crazy guy. Let's kick it off with topic one. Healthcare. Town hall meetings continue to be more obnoxious than productive. Listen to this.
What is this policy? Why are you supporting it?
On what planet do you spend most of your time? Ma'am, trying to have a conversation with you would be like trying to argue with a dining room table. I have no interest in doing it.
Okay, now that's Representative Barney Frank of Massachusetts, the Obama administration, defending itself this week against arguments that they're losing the public support. Will this nation get to an agreement on how to get health care for everyone who needs it? And should we even try to do that, Ian?
Should we even try? No. Why should we try? I don't know. Okay, here's, I'm going to just say it. We're going to say it. Why should people not have health care? If you're fighting for people not to have health care, you should really look in the mirror and decide whether you see yourself back. Because you're a vampire if you don't want people to have health care. Other people, do you not believe we should have health care?
I think absolutely what you're saying is true, that we should try to get everyone to have health care, but what concerns me is that it seems like it's a lot of generalities out there. We don't really have any specifics that we're covering. We don't know who's going to pay for it. Is it coming from the taxpayers? I feel that's the biggest concern, and being the wife of a small business owner, that's where I feel one of my large concerns with the issue is right now.
So you think small businesses are going to pay for it?
We don't know. That's the scary thing about it.
Okay, and you're making the point that a lot of people are making. We had a town hall meeting where Congresswoman Betsy Markey up in Longmont really had a hard time explaining what are the mechanics of this proposal. How are we going to put something like this into place, Terrence?
With between 47 million and 50 million people uninsured, I think we do need some type of public plan for people, because eventually taxpayers end up paying more money out in taxes when we have a lot of people who don't have health care shutting down hospitals, going back and forth to the emergency room. So we do need to figure out a way that we can have some type of public option for people. Exactly how the Bronx administration is going to pay for it, I don't know exactly how they're going to pay for it, but I know one thing: we do need some type of public option.
Okay, and you know that from your experience, and we need to mention, you founded Prodigal Son.
Yes.
You have been on the streets. You have experience with gangs.
Yes,
you are working to stop this, coming from both ends of the stick yourself. So you have seen how people can load on the healthcare system who have a problem, right?
I was gunned down in the summer of violence in 1993. I was shot in my back. My hospital bill was probably about maybe $150,000. I was 23 years old getting bills from the ambulance. The ambulance probably cost me about maybe $2,000. Now, I didn't pay any of that. I was a kid when I was gunned down. I was 17 years old.
In a gang.
So, in a gang.
In a gang.
So just imagine, this is just me here on your show. Imagine the almost 20,000 gang members we have just in the metro area of Denver, let alone Los Angeles or Houston. We're not even talking about just gangs, though. What about immigrants who don't have any health care?
Right.
Regardless to how you feel about the...
That's true.
In regards to how you feel about the immigration debate, there's still people and they're here.
Right.
And if they need health care or one of their kids get sick, then they need to go to a hospital.
The thing is, here's the thing that is the burden on the healthcare system. It is not when somebody, as you got shot, and the huge thing happens. It's people that show up in an emergency room that have a cold and slow down everything, and that costs just as much as somebody with a real problem. And until people realize that the reason people go to the emergency room when they're sick and they don't realize that they just got the flu is because they don't go to see their regular physician because they don't have health care, which makes this go up like this. So what we want to do is take this down here.
Well, we'll follow to see what happens as the Obama administration continues to fight for this public option. Moving on to topic 2 on the Fox Box. How many political guests on Comedy Central's Colbert Report have to put up with this?
Congressman Polis, it says here that you're gay.
That's correct.
Are they sure?
My boyfriend is pretty sure.
Drink, mother, drink!
Okay, that's about all I can handle right now.
This is what guys do, not
That's right.
gay stuff.
All right, he says this is gay stuff. Lots of jokes about the fact that the congressman is gay. Some still are amazed that Colorado Congressman Jared Polis, who happens to also be gay, has no problem being out of the closet. But does this say our society is moving forward and accepting those with different lifestyles? Megan.
You know, I think at the end of the day, the single most important thing is not what someone's sexual preference is. I think that it should be if they're doing their job right. And so I think there's a lot of people in our political standings that are gay, and we don't necessarily talk about them. You go on a show like the Colbert Report, and that's obviously something that they're going to joke about and they're going to jest back and forth with one another. But if they're doing their job right at the end of the day, with the state that our economy is in right now, the most important thing is that they're doing their job, not what their sexual preference is.
Ian?
I have no idea. Like, what?
Okay.
Seriously, if you go into a comedy show, there's gonna be jokes.
Right.
Why are people
Absolutely.
shocked? They're like, it's seriously, it's like when that movie Bruno was out.
Right.
It was X-rated. All right. It was R-rated, and people were like, you shouldn't take your kids to see it. Well, it says it's R-rated. Wake up, people.
Right. But I mean, there is a sense, though, when you see comedians, doing outward jokes like this about congressmen, that it does say that we are moving a little bit forward, Terrence.
But I got to say this. The fact that Mr. Polis is openly admitting that he's gay, the fact that he is a politician, it's the fact that he's getting so much media attention as is, because Stephen probably wouldn't want to have him on the show if he wasn't a congressman.
Exactly.
Who was admitting that he was gay. So
Exactly.
whatever he got ribbed on, we're going on the show. I mean, it was all in good nature.
All right.
And he got the media attention that he was probably searching for.
Okay, speaking of getting a lot of media attention, now we cannot go without talking about what happened this week with First Lady Michelle Obama. She is being railed by the fashion editor of the Washington Post for wearing these shorts while cascading down the stairway from Air Force One. She and the kids had been visiting the Grand Canyon on a hot Arizona day. Was she really inappropriate? Should she be railed by this? In our chat room, JJ Sika 80 is in, and she says, Michelle was wearing shorts in 100-degree heat. What is the problem? Now, I'm going to ask you this, Megan, because you're in the public eye. Should she be scrutinized like this? It got media attention around the world.
You know, I think that first, if we take a flashback back to the Kennedy era and we look at Jackie Kennedy, this was a woman who was a wife and a mother as well. And you know that she had moments where she was casual, just as Michelle Obama was. But she's not followed by the media and by the paparazzi 24/7. So, you know, Michelle Obama is a mother, and she's going to have these casual outings. She's going to go to the Grand Canyon with her family. Do we expect her to wear a suit to that? I don't think so. But on the flip side of that, we do have high expectations of her because of who she is. So it's really finding that fine balance.
Ian, the other comment was, look, I don't care what's going on. If you're walking off Air Force One, you're representing the highest and most powerful office in this nation.
And you shouldn't be taking Air Force One to the Grand Canyon.
Well,
Is anybody
wait a
gonna
minute.
say anything about that?
Barack Obama was here.
He was here.
Anyway.
He was here, so we just happened to go
Healthcare
see the.
No.
Hey kids, we've never
No.
been to the Grand Canyon.
He
Everybody get holiday room.
He had a town hall meeting in Arizona. He
Yeah,
took
so-
the wife and kids with him. The plane was going to go there anyway,
Whatever.
Terrence.
Chopper in.
Man, I think they're picking on Michelle. Because like she said, if you look at Nancy Reagan, if you look at it like a lot of different first ladies, I just think they're picking on Michelle. Michelle's a beautiful lady. It was 100 degrees. It's Arizona. Who's going to wear jeans or some pants or some slacks? At the Grand Canyon, it's 100 degrees outside, except for Barack. He's the president. I think she's fine. I think she did a good thing, and I just think that the media's picking on her.
Well, she has the right to bear arms because she's in shape, but apparently not the right to bear legs, according to some people. And that just made huge news. Some people are still saying in the chat room right now, why are we even talking about it? But it was huge news this week.
The First Lady.
That's what's on the Fox box.
First Lady.
We just have to have the last word on this woman in Tunisia who claimed to be pregnant with a record-breaking 12 babies. Turns out she's not even pregnant. Doctors say she has a mental problem where she thinks she's pregnant all the time. But this is the question. This made news again around the world. Everybody jumped on it. Last word on that, Ian.
Oh, come on.
It's just absurd.
Well, what woman knows she has 12 babies inside her? And it's like, seriously, wouldn't the baby mama, daddy, or whatever get involved and say no?
Megan, last word.
You know, everyone's got to have their 15 minutes of fame.
And Terrence.
I know some babies' mamas with about 12 babies. So for a woman who thinks she just has 12 and doesn't, I think she saved the healthcare.
It's a big weekend.
Thanks, Terrence Roberts.
Saved the healthcare industry some money.
Founder of Prodigal Son, Terrence Roberts, Mrs. Colorado 2009, Megan Yarberry, and Ian Bagg on stage at the Improv this weekend. That's the Fox Box for this week. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. Hey, back to you, buddy.